Okay, you guys, my name is Jamie. Y'all probably want to come closer because I don't have no mic and I ain't trying to, y'all over. Um, but I don't have no slides or anything, so I'm just gonna go off the top of my head. And I'm gonna just tell y'all like what my business is, why I got started, and what sparked my passion. So I live in Columbus, Ohio. I've been down here for now probably 6-7 years. I was born and raised in Dayton, Ohio, raised by my mom, single parent, and we never talked about credit or finance or anything like that. So the 6-7 years ago when I moved down here, I literally didn't have nothing. I had a car that constantly broke down, like literally every chance it got. I had a job that I transferred from Dayton down to here. It was Home Depot. I think I was making like maybe $10 an hour. I did not have no place to stay, and my credit was terrible, but I was like determined to get away like from my home area because I wasn't, making any progress. So for like, I'll say maybe a month, I pretty much was homeless, but I was like just determined to, to get it started. Found an apartment finally because my credit was so bad. I really couldn't find anywhere decent. So I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with Tamarack Circle. It's a lot of crime, and when I got there, I'm just like, I'll just take it. I didn't have a fridge, so I was eating out of like a cold and hot bag for probably like a month or two. And in Columbus, you need a car to me because like it's hard to get around. I had like an old Oldsmobile, and I know I needed a new car, so ended up going to CarMax. Since I didn't have good credit, they were kind of like easy to get. They, send your information to different lenders. Got a car, and my payment was about $400 a month, and my rent I want to say was like $475 plus utilities, gas, and food. So you kind of like add it up. I really was not making do. So eventually I kind of know like I need to get something quick. So ended up staying at the job I was at, but then also getting 2 separate more jobs so I can kind of like make ends meet. And like fast forward, obviously I was tired. I used to work so much, like my feet would be super swollen. And one day I was super tired. I was driving home and I just started hallucinating. I thought I hit somebody because I was so tired. So I'm like, okay, yeah, something has to change for me. And then just like, when you're like kind of progressing, stuff just keep happening to like hold you back. So my wages ended up getting garnished. So I'm kind of like back in the same spot. So ironically, I met this lady. She was like a manager at this place called CheckSmart, which is like the corporate office for the payday loan people. And we're talking, and she ended up getting me a job at where she was at. So basically, they lend out multiple financial products to people, but of course, you got to learn what the products are, what they require, and how you're supposed to teach the consumers and speak with them. So fast forward again, I started learning their processes and procedures. I would print them out, read them at home, read them on my lunch, just read them anytime. So I ended up applying that to my own credit, and it took me about, I'll say, a year to fix everything. I didn't go the typical route that you find on Google or with regular credit specialists where you just dispute everything and deny that you owed and get everything off of your credit. Like I literally like held on to my integrity and started paying people, but like in a strategic way. So I'm not gonna lie, like if something was about to fall off in 2 years, I ain't about to pay all this debt that quick, so that would be like a low priority. Raise my credit score, so it'll go up and up and up and up and up. So like with the wage garnishment, it gets on your credit. That's the open judgment. So you kind of learn to how to communicate with these other companies, learn the in and out. So like, for instance, you go to this store, this store sell raisin cookies. You go to that store, they don't, but what do they sell? And how you maneuver that if you need those cookies. So it was kind of like the same way. I knew this creditor wouldn't give me a payment plan, so I went to this one, explain my situation. Are you going to remove this off my credit, or how would it look? So it was kind of like a learning process, kind of like did y'all mom always say, like, learn the company you keep. Basically, that's how it was. So fast forward again, I was really moving it, really getting myself together. Started learning how to pay off cars a little bit quicker. Started learning about interest and X, Y, and Z. So I keep fast forwarding. So then I don't know how I ended up getting in contact with the U. They had this boot camp program that started online. Went through their program, and they're like, oh, y'all got to pitch, blah, blah, blah. So I ain't gonna lie, I was so scared, but it ended abruptly, did not have to pitch. And I always had like this feeling, this passion of just wanting to teach other people about credit, because it's just like, a lot of, especially in the Black community, you don't grow up with a home where credit is a conversation. So I'm like, if I'm struggling, I can imagine how other people are struggling. And I always had this idea. So I took their first boot camp program. It ended abruptly. Then took the second one. Luckily, they brought it back. And it was about 8 to 10 weeks. So literally dedicated my whole life to that program. I would go to work, go to class, or if we didn't have class, read like slides that they would send us that they had created, or just practice the parts that I knew I was going to struggle with. So I knew I would struggle with market research because I hated it. It takes too long, it's annoying, and it's just like sometimes you don't get the information you want. So I made it like I would be like, okay, I'm gonna focus on this part as much as I can, and then focus on the pitch because I hate speaking. So I would practice that, write that down, and I would literally like practice from day, like morning to night, X, Y, and Z. So program was awesome, but it doesn't like take away your, you know, your nervous shivers. Like I'm about to have to present this to the audience, and a lot of stuff run through your head. Like, what if they don't understand, or what if they don't believe, or what if they don't believe in the audience that I'm targeting? Like I'm from Black people. Like I love my people, and I really want us to really step into the credit field. So presented, and I won. So won first place with that program. And you kind of get like this push of confidence in yourself, like, damn, I really know what I'm doing. I really know what I'm talking about. So from there, you know, you grow with a community, and Shelby, who's a part of the U, had hit me with this other place, ended up getting a grant from them, pretty much did the same thing, used that same business model I had from the U, took it to there, won a grant from them, and then that place ended up, so fast forward again, that place ended up referring me to, not referring me, but asking me to mentor like other people as far as like getting their business started up. So now I'm currently doing that. And then I have people that I graduated the program with, and I'm helping them with stuff. So as far as my business, it's the Alternative Bureau, where we help Black people get started with fixing their credit and provide them with the alternative credit report within our bureau. That has always been my business model. But recently I had to pivot. So when I first launched, I had consulted with an attorney, and I'm like, hey, this is what I want to do. And we talked about the FCRA, which is the people that regulate credit reporting. And if y'all know anything about that, long story short, you can't just target one race. It has to be everybody you're trying to open a credit report. But me, I'm like, nah, I'm gonna find a way, I'm gonna get around this. Could not do that. Ended up consulting another lawyer. She told me the same thing. I'm like, I'm gonna try one more person. Maybe I'll get one that can kind of like find a way to not manipulate it, but, you know, find a way. And he like, nah, you can't do that. So I'm not gonna lie, for like a month, I would say I was kind of like, I did cry, because just like, this was my business model, this is what I want to do. So super sad, and I'm just like, I think I was telling Ski, like, I'm gonna just do it. If I get sued, I get sued. Like, it's worth it. But then I'm like, nah, I ain't gonna do that. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to pivot my business model to something else. So I'm still helping them get started with fixing their credit, but I want something bigger, like for them and just for them, like something for Black people that's exclusively like, boom, this is their credit report. Like, boom, we can go here and we can see their work, but still hold on to the integrity and the actual aspect of American credit risk model without having to dispute everything, because I know how to do that. But you want people to get into the cycle of, you got this, you agreed to this, figure out your options, pay it, and now you're up, basically. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now. What my next steps are, I'm not going to try to still do a credit report, but so like as far as what I would just need from the community is kind of just like make the conversation not so taboo when we're talking about credit. You know how like people ask weird questions like, how's your day? Like, why not just ask people, oh, how's your credit report, or how's your credit score? Like, make the conversations taboo, or even talk about famous lenders that we have around here. Like I've probably, since I launched last year, like to the public since November, I've probably helped, I'll say 35 people. And I promise you, out of those 35, at least 17 of those people has worked with the same lender, American Credit Acceptance, and they all have the same story. Like, we paid on this for 2 years and I haven't touched my principal, or they took my car, or my payments is half of my paycheck. And it's just like, dang, if you just would have asked that person sitting next to you, maybe you would have known they weren't the right person. Or maybe if you know, like, if you apply this payment here, you can get this taken care of quick. Or maybe if you know the time frame for like a repo, you won't have to continue having to, make your credit back. So just making the conversation a little bit more, I'll say, common. Like, we're so scared to talk about finances, and I can sometimes be like, why? Because, I mean, I ain't paying you. So And then just like, I don't know, like tell people about me. I really do need a team. That's one thing I have figured out, like trying to take everything because this is mine. So it's like, I'm going to run it this way. But this year I'm going to try to like step out and trust people, which is really hard for me too. But yeah, I really do need like a team and just somebody who's passionate about, you know, helping people and somebody who can really be honest and admit like, the urban community, the black community is really struggling when it comes to credit. Like, we got to just quit pretending that it's not. Quit pretending like, oh, I need to see some numbers or a graph. I need to see a survey like we know. So, and that's it. That's me.
I know I have some questions. Okay. Thanks for sharing. That was awesome. I have some questions because I don't know like the credit world very well. So when you're saying that what you were wanting to provide was an alternate like credit report, that would be like someone could take that, show it to their leasing office, or if they're trying to get a loan, like that's what they would show them is your report versus like
Experience. So it'll kind of be similar to like Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax, except it'll be more so a second chance for just one race. So the African American race. So you can take the credit report, but most places don't work like that. They want to be able to pull it themselves. So it'll be like you go to this place. They
pull it
from me. Yeah.
Okay,
they could now. No, they can't because I can't do it that way.
I guess my follow up to that is there not a way to be focus on a population but still be open to helping, like to fall within like, hey, we will help anybody, you can pull, but like focus your services and your education and like all of that stuff on a population?
It is, but I'm not doing that. Like, I literally want it to be exclusive for that community. Like, so they can feel safe. They come in here like, this person looks like me or something like that. I mean, there is a way, and I considered it, but I literally started that business model from that prospect. I've told people about it. It's kind of like I don't know, I'll feel like, dang, I did what a lot of business did. I started to target y'all, but now I'm trying to open up to the rest of the world, and just so I can, I don't know, be in that aspect or get that funding. I don't know. Like, if that makes sense, I don't want to do that.
Just because, like I said, because I don't know, it feels like within the parameters of law, like that's the only way to give that kind of help.
If you open it up.
If you open it up. So I'm like, does it mean that then there's not the help that people need because it won't exist at all? Or am I just totally not understanding the credit world?
So, no, you're right. If I don't open it up for everybody, then they won't get no help at all as far as that, like as far as the credit risk model, but they'll still have me to be able to exceed in the risk model we have right now. And then laws always change, like regulations always change, and maybe I have to wait for that, or maybe I could just be being stubborn. But I don't know, like I feel like we don't have nothing for, I want this credit risk model to be for like us. I don't know, but yeah. Go ahead.
Why don't you like just promote your services in a way where anybody can see it can be legal, but you're targeting a specific community. Like if you wanted to target, I don't know, millennials or whatever, you would put your service where they're at. But if you wanted to target black community or whatever, then just promote where most black guys want to be like the same, whatever.
Yeah.
But then still keep it open to anybody else, because obviously other people need help too. I know you're passionate about it, but I mean, probably 80% of the country has private credit schools. I don't want you to feel like you're not limiting yourself. I know you have passion for that, but you could probably make some good connections outside of that community too. That's just.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I don't know, like.
I think to piggyback But if you market in a way that is really going to connect with the community you're trying to reach, then chances are you're going to get those folks, paying attention to your offering more so than.
Yeah, I mean, people like the community that I'm targeting, them paying attention isn't really the issue. The issue is the business started as a credit bureau, but it was more so dedicated to giving like black people a second chance to having a great credit report. So kind of like how Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax gives a credit score. That's what I was building, but only for African American. But I can't do that because it's against the law, basically. So I could be wrong, but I don't think that would kind of correlate with marketing. It literally would just correlate with me following the regulations. So that's the part I had to pivot on, the actual credit risk model. I can't just service African American. Like I can't just say, I'll create you this credit report, you go into the algorithm, but then turn away another like race. Even if I'm saying it's for a good cause, I can't do it, basically. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I feel like you have a really prominent story, probably similar to what she's going to get to, is that you have a really prominent story and are a good storyteller. That it seems like you can really appeal to education.
Yeah.
Being able to, because it's a lot of knowledge that I don't even have, and I took a long time to build up good credit. Some people in this room. Of like not knowing how to go about building credit, or not knowing how to get away from the advanced payday services that really aren't going to get you out of your credit. It's just high interest. It sounds like the education that you can provide is a lot of knowledge and a lot of experience looking at directly at the black community, if that's who you want to be directly towards. The black or poor or neighborhood community, whatever that is, just like he suggested, is like getting in front of those eyes and then being able to offer for a small price, whatever that looks like, to help them out of their credit. Because what Equifax and the other companies provide is a standardization that is pretty uniform, that is pretty tough to compete with on a small scale. But what you can provide is basically helping somebody get from their 450 credit score or 500, whatever that looks like, up to 700 or 650. And basically say, here are the steps that I can help you accomplish that. And maybe eventually you can get into being in a position through grant money, through your own money, if you make enough money, to be able to provide some better options for payday loans that aren't directly negatively implicating your credit, like advanced payday loans are. So you can eventually, with your own money, just say, we serve black people specifically, and we provide a lower interest rate to help you get out of your credit. And by doing so, if I give you my money, you use my services to get you out of this credit hole.
Oh, I like that.
And that way you can still utilize the same framework that exists. Unfortunately, it exists for all of us, no matter what race or how much money you make is. Everybody follows Equifax or TransUnion. But there's 3 of them already, which means that they probably have a pretty good grip on the market. But what you can do, it sounds like what you've already done in your life, is use your resources to prop yourself up in a credit world. And I think that that's really valuable information that probably a lot of people aren't hearing. It sounds like a lot of people in the black community aren't hearing about it either. But I just know a lot of people in general don't learn about credit anywhere specifically. So it sounds like you have an offering that eventually, if you can raise that money like you suggested, you can maybe be the person that's offering these loans. And you can do it, put your money with however you want. If it's just for black women from 20 to 30, or the black community in general, or all impoverished people with credit scores under 500, you can choose what you do with your money then.
Okay, thank you. I like that.
Well, one, I want to say thank you for all the work that you have done with your business, and I personally been one of your clients, so it's been super helpful. But I also wanted to ask or know if you have looked into the black bank that just opened here and the black lending network. It was at the Capital Crash Course. I forget her name, but it's a woman here that just started her own lending company. And yes, Avery. Yes, her name is Avery. And wanted to know if it was like any partnerships to be like established there, where you're able to provide your services and get in front of exactly who you want to target, with them being a black bank and a black lender that's looking to help black and brown people.
No, I didn't know about that. You just give me their information. It's a black bank down here?
It is.
Where?
It's on the corner of
Like it's been here.
No, you spoke like 3 weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
But it's a big sign.
Yeah, big sign.
Okay.
It's like the corner.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you gotta give me the information.
What's it
Already.
called?
Delphi?
Oh, yeah.
I was wondering if there could be something in the way that you're incorporating. Are you a for-profit or a non-for-profit?
For LLC. Yeah.
So it might be possible for you to do something similar to what people are recommending, but have the for-profit be the credit report or whatever, and that's open, but then have a non-profit arm that, because your articles of incorporation specifically target Black people, then that's actually legally you're not allowed to serve.
Yeah.
Like there might be ways to
Yeah. Open it.
use that, and 'cause I have a friend who has she started a nonprofit that's focused on Black women, and then she started her for-profit, and she's targeting, like, she's doing anti-oppression coaching for White women, like she's teaching them how to be anti-racist.
Yeah.
She's charging them a lot of money.
Yeah.
That she's using, but she's funneling that then in different ways into a nonprofit. The nonprofit has a very specific target population, and she's serving Black women survivors of intimate partner violence. So I think there are ways legally to arrange your business so that you're in line with regulations for the part that's for profit, and that maybe is more towards your passion for the
Yeah.
part that's not. I don't know if that would be helpful.
Yeah, that's helpful. Yeah, thank you.
I was gonna say two things. Like maybe it's like a language thing or how the wording is, because I feel like you frame it maybe as like an initiative, or we were even talking about like last night, like social impact. You're making a social impact. That's an issue in the community. So maybe that language will help when it comes to like, oh, you're targeting only people, like, no, this is the issue, and there's like a measurable change that can happen with fixing this issue.
Yeah. Y'all gonna get me sued. No, just playing. Yeah.
It's tricky because like there's a reason that someone an entity shouldn't be allowed to just target, because you have good intentions, but if you didn't, you could be going in and exploiting, right? And so like it's tough on that like legal side to say like, oh, I should just be able to.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do have one question, if you can slip it in under 4 minutes. So talking about a business, what is your revenue stream? How do you expect to make money doing this?
So right now my revenue stream comes from clients that I get, but then also grants that I get. So like the last 2 grants I got came from just mentoring about finance with this group called OYU. And then I can't remember the other group, but they also, that's terrible, but they also gave me a grant too, and I was just mentoring the youth on how to start up their business. So I'll say the majority of my income from this year from last year up until now that I started, came from grants. And then the rest of it came from clients.
So what if I want to like have you come in and teach like a group of women or families, and most of them are Black, but not all of them. But I want to pay you to come do that. Are you open to that? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, so sounds like the path Cody was.
Yeah.
So last question we ask all of our speakers is, what can we as a community do for you? Throw anything out there, anything, connections, network, whatever.
I always love feedback. Like the feedback y'all gave me, I always appreciate that, because I'm like real bad with tunnel vision. Like I'll see something and nothing stop me, so I love having feedback. That I think is most important. So we pass information, always give me feedback, or I can always ask y'all questions, and then just tell people about me, and just be comfortable about talking about finance, because I don't feel like I can just do it by myself. The community within have to do it with each other. And if you want to talk about, helping out or joining, or know somebody who wants to be a part of the team, send them my information or give me the information. And that's really just it.
How do we find your information?
Also, I'm on Instagram at the Alternative Borough, and then my website is alternativeborough.com. And my email is hey@thealternativeborough, basically.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, now we have to present you with your 1 millionth cups. cup.
I was going to say $1 million. Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Can I get a notebook
Yeah, you can get a notebook.
and a tumbler?
This is your like official.
Oh,
he takes a
thank
picture of
you.
me giving it to you, so.
Oh, he already. You did.
Bye.